Imagine waking up to the sound of a scooter humming like a judgmental hornet, only to find your life's pride a lush emerald lawn declared a visual assault by a woman who thinks beige is a personality. That's how it started for Alex Rivera, a quiet software engineer who just sunk his savings into a slice of suburban paradise in Willow Creek Estates, Virginia. But paradise? More like a pressure cooker of petty rules, where one nosy HOA president could turn your dream home into a nightmare with a single clipboard click. Alex had always been the type to keep his head down. In his mid-30s, with a mop of dark hair that he rarely bothered to style and a wardrobe full of faded hoodies from tech conferences, he wasn't out to make waves. He'd moved to Willow Creek 3 years back, fleeing the chaos of city apartments for what the realtor called serene community living. Serene, my ass. The place was a grid of identical McMansions, all painted in shades of approved neutral, that made the whole neighborhood look like it was designed by someone allergic to joy. But Alex, he found his escape in the yard. Not the backyard that was fenced and private, safe from prying eyes. No, the front lawn was his canvas. He'd spent months researching soil pH, nematode control, and organic boosters, turning what was once a patchy eyesore into a verdant masterpiece. It wasn't just green. It was alive, pulsating with a shade that screamed vitality in a sea of conformity. Neighbors whispered about it, some in awe, others in envy. But Alex ignored the gossip. He was the guy who'd wave politely at barbecues but skip the small talk, observing from the sidelines like a programmer debugging code. Little did he know, that lawn was about to debug the whole damn system. The whispers turned toxic fast. It started with Mrs. Evelyn Evie Caldwell, the HOA president who'd reigned supreme for a decade. Evie was a force, or so she thought. In her early 50s, with perfectly coiffed silver hair pinned under a sun visor emblazoned with the HOA logo, she patrolled the streets in her electric scooter, a silent sentinel of standards. She smelled like lavender fabric softener mixed with self-righteousness, and her smile, it was the kind that said, "I'm being polite, but you're already on my list." Evie wasn't just enforcing rules. She was the rules. Bylaws on mailbox heights, fence stains, even the acceptable decibel level for laughter at outdoor gatherings. She wielded them like a scepter, all while preaching about community harmony at monthly meetings. But harmony, that was code for control. She'd ousted the previous president over a scandal involving unapproved holiday lights, and now she feared anyone who might challenge her throne. Alex's lawn, it was a threat. Too vibrant, too individual. Rumors spread like weeds. He's using illegal chemicals. Evie would murmur to her cronies over bridge games. Probably poisoning the groundwater. And that glow, it's unnatural. Makes the whole block look uneven. She didn't say it outright at first, but she planted the seeds, turning casual chats into full-blown defamation. Neighbors started side-eyeing Alex, whispering about that weird loner whose yard was probably radioactive. Alex heard it all, the mutters at the mailbox, the pointed stares during his evening walks. But he stayed silent, watching, waiting. Patience was his superpower. He'd learned it from years of fixing buggy code that no one else could crack. One crisp Saturday morning, as Alex knelt in the dirt, meticulously aerating the soil with a hand fork, because, let's face it, machines were too imprecise for his standards. The hum of Evie's scooter cut through the air like a bad omen. She pulled up, brakes squeaking just enough to announce her authority, and dismounted with the grace of a queen stepping off her chariot. Clipboard in hand, pen poised like a dagger. "Mr. Rivera," she began, her voice a saccharine drawl laced with Virginia politeness that barely masked the venom. "I've been meaning to have a word about your ground cover." Alex straightened slowly, wiping sweat from his brow, his expression neutral as a blank screen. He'd seen this coming. The rumors had escalated to anonymous complaints slipped under his door. "Evie," he replied evenly, using her first name just to watch her twitch. She preferred Mrs. Caldwell for that air of untouchability. "What's the issue? Trash bins are in. No holiday lights out of season." She clicked her pen twice. Click. Click, a tick that screamed, "I'm in charge." "It's the intensity, dear. Your grass is excessively verdant. It's disrupting the aesthetic equilibrium outlined in Bylaw 47B, subsection 9. We've had reports, multiple, mind you, of it causing glare issues. Mrs. Thompson across the way says it's interfering with her birdwatching binoculars." Alex blinked, suppressing a laugh that bubbled like code compiling errors. Glare from grass? In a neighborhood where every house blended into the next like camouflage? "Evie, it's just healthy turf. I use organic stuff, molasses for microbes, kelp extract for nutrients. No chemicals." Her eyes narrowed, lips pursing into a line thinner than her patience. "Organic or not, it's garish. It draws undue attention, creates discord. And I've heard concerns about what might be in that extract of yours. Safety first. You know." There it was, the insinuation, dripping with faux concern. She was implying poison, danger, all to rally the troops against him. Alex felt the sting, the way it twisted his quiet pride into something sinister. But he didn't snap. "Noted," he said simply, turning back to his fork. "I'll think on it." Evie hovered a moment longer, expecting groveling, but when none came, she mounted her scooter with a huff. "Expect a formal notice, Mr. Rivera. Harmony requires sacrifice." As she zipped away, Alex watched her go, his mind already whirring like a processor in overdrive. Sacrifice? Oh, she'd learn about that soon enough. The formal notice arrived like clockwork, not via mail but taped to his door with industrial precision beige envelope, HOA seal gleaming like a badge of bureaucracy. Alex peeled it off, fingers steady, and retreated inside his modest living room, where the walls were adorned with subtle tech posters that Evie would no doubt deem unharmonious if she ever peeked in. He slit the envelope open, unfolding the letter with the care of someone dissecting malware. The words leaped out: violation notice, excessive chromatic saturation of front yard turf. It detailed how his hyper-vibrant green clashed with the subdued natural palette of Willow Creek, citing anonymous complaints about potential environmental hazards and visual pollution. Remediation required. Tone it down to a seasonally appropriate muted shade, like dormant rye code for brown and dead. Failure? $50 daily fines starting in 2 weeks. Alex's blood simmered, but outwardly, he was calm. He knew the game now. Evie was escalating, using the bylaws to bully, all while hiding behind community welfare. Neighbors started avoiding him. Old Mr. Patel next door, who'd once complimented the lawn, now crossed the street. Whispers at the community pool. Rivera's poisoning the soil. Mark my words. Evie's onto him. The hurt, the isolation, the false narrative painting him as the villain. But Alex didn't rant on the neighborhood Facebook group or confront Evie at the next meeting. Instead, he observed. He noted how she glad-handed at events, preaching unity while dividing with her rumors. He pored over the HOA covenant, a 400-page tome of tedium, highlighting sections in the quiet hours, sipping black coffee that matched his growing resolve. They want a color change, he murmured to his empty kitchen one night, a sly grin forming. Fine. Let's change the color. The plan coalesced slowly, deliberately, like lines of code falling into place. Alex wasn't impulsive. He was strategic. First, he dismissed the easy outs. No, we'd kill her to fake compliance. That'd kill his pride along with the grass. No, this called for malice aforethought, wrapped in compliance. He scoured online forums late at night, bypassing the polished prose for the outliers. That's how he found Vince's wild codings. We cover what others won't. The site was a relic, Comic Sans fonts and all, but the reviews? Gold. Painted my driveway like a basketball court, HOA be damned, one read. Alex dialed, heart steady. A gravelly voice answered, Vince here. Whatcha got? Unusual job, Alex said. Front lawn, 3,000 square feet. Need it painted. Bright. Silence. Then a bark of laughter. Lawn? As in grass? HOA beef. Spot on. Another chuckle. Love it. Color. Alex had picked it days ago. Inferno blaze. A screaming orange-red that could blind satellites. We'll need primer, Vince grunted. White base for pop. For $1,000 cash. Deal? Alex swallowed. It was half his savings, but nodded to the phone. Dawn. Thursday. The crew arrived like shadows at 5:45 a.m., a battered truck rumbling softly. Vince, a burly guy with paint-flecked arms, and his sidekick, Rico, a silent giant in overalls. They surveyed the lawn, whistling low. Damn, this is prime turf, Vince said. HOA hates life. Ha, Alex smirked. Wants it dead. They taped everything borders, mailbox, even the curb with military precision. The compressor hummed to life, waking the block subtly at first. White primer sprayed in even arcs, erasing the green like a digital wipe. Neighbors' lights flicked on, curtains parted. Mr. Patel poked his head out, whispering hoarsely, Alex, you. Killing it? Priming, Alex replied coolly, coffee in hand. For the new look, then the blaze hit. The sprayer spat out the orange-red in thick, glossy layers, transforming the yard into a molten lava flow. It glowed, defiant, screaming against the beige backdrop. Halfway through, the scooter's hum approached faster, angrier. Evie screeched to a halt, visor askew, face flushing to match the paint. What in God's name is this abomination? She yelped, waving her clipboard like a weapon. Vince paused, wiping his brow. Morning, ma'am. Working zone. Step back fumes. Her eyes locked on Alex, lounging on the porch. Rivera, this is orange. It's hideous. Inferno blaze. Actually, Alex said mildly. You said remediate the green. Green it's not. Problem solved. She sputtered, veins bulging. This violates everything. It's not approved. It's chaos. Alex held up the notice. Didn't specify to what color. just not hypergreen. Checkmate. Evie's mouth flapped like a fish on dry land. I'll fine you. Call authorities. Do it, Alex said, sipping. Tell em about the glare. Vince shot him a wink, resuming the spray. Fines rained down like confetti from hell. By noon, the first slapped to his door, $50 for unauthorized aesthetic assault, then $100 for color-induced discord. Evie was improvising now, her composure cracking as the neighborhood buzzed. Cars slowed to gawk. Kids pointed and giggled. The Facebook group exploded. Rivera's yard looks like a traffic cone exploded. Some cheered. Finally, someone stands up to Caldwell. Others decried. Property values tanking. Evie fueled the fire. Posting veiled attacks. Certain residents flout rules, endangering our harmony. But Alex stayed offline, watching from afar. He knew her type, power-hungry, fearing exposure. When the police cruiser pulled up that afternoon, Evie watched from her lawn, arms folded, smug as a cat with cream. Officers Klein, grizzled and world-weary, and newbie Santos, wide-eyed. Sir, Klein droned, eyeing the blaze. Complaint about vandalism. Santos stifled a snort. That's bright. Alex handed over the notice. Following orders. Officers. Grass was too green. Now it's not. Klein read. Sighed deeply, the sigh of a man who'd policed too many HOA spats. No laws broken. Civil issue. He yelled to Evie. Ma'am. 911s for emergencies. Not paint jobs. Her face twisted, a mask of humiliated fury slipping. The cops left chuckling. Evie retreated, but the war escalated. A lawyer's letter followed, cease and desist. $5,000 in fines. Demands to restore natural state. Alex's bank account ached, the orange fading to a sickly peach under the sun. But he dug in, poring over the covenants with bourbon-fueled focus. He struck gold on page 312. Temporary alterations for celebrations, permitted up to 45 days for holidays, events, or personal milestones, including ground dies. Personal milestones. Grinning wickedly, he hit the sign shop. Evie stormed over next dawn, fines in fist, ready to gloat. But she froze mid-stride, arm halted like a glitchy robot. Alex had erected signs in the blaze, bold letters proclaiming, celebrating my victory over petty tyranny, a banner across the garage, hooray for nonconformity, balloons tied to the mailbox, helium defiance. Morning, Evie, Alex called cheerfully. Festive, right? Bylaw 89E, temporary dies for personal celebrations. Got 44 days left. She gaped, clipboard trembling. This isn't a celebration. It's mockery. Personal milestone, Alex countered, voice dripping sarcasm. Overcoming baseless rumors and overreach. Feels celebratory to me. Neighbors gathered, murmuring. Some laughed outright. Others nodded, seeds of doubt sprouting against Evie's reign. She knew she'd been outmaneuvered, her own rules, her weapon, turned against her. Fine, she hissed, deflating. Waive the fines. Restore it after. But the damage was done. Her facade cracked, revealing the insecure bully beneath. Whispers shifted. Caldwell's lost it. At the next HOA meeting, attendance swelled. Calls for her resignation echoed. The celebration dragged on, the orange a beacon of rebellion. Alex fielded media calls, Local news dubbed it the Blaze of Glory Yard. Evie's patrols slowed. She avoided his street, visor low. After 45 days, Alex hired Vince back, another $4,500 to scrape and resod. The new lawn, greener than ever, tended at midnight to evade eyes. Total cost? Nearly $10,000 and a brush with arrest. But as Alex sat on his porch, watching Evie scoot past without a glance, he felt the sweet rush of justice. Her power waned. Elections loomed. Her seat shaky. The neighborhood breathed easier. Rules questioned. Sometimes, to dismantle absurdity, you fight fire with brighter fire. So, here's the burning question. Was Alex's extravagant, paint-splattered revenge a heroic stand against HOA overreach? Or did he cross into becoming the chaotic force he despised? Drop your verdict below, right or wrong.